think we need to be clear-eyed about, the risks involved in maintaining this deal over an extended period of time. And, I'm sure the Ukrainians, not unreasonably, will remain very, very skeptical about Russian good faith.
This afternoon is Major General Rupert Jones, a former standing Joint Forces commander. Major General, welcome to the show this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Now, Russia has accused America of direct involvement in the war in Ukraine for the first time. Is this a significant change in rhetoric?
Well, it feels though it's trying to turn up a dial a little bit. But let's be honest, Russia's rhetoric has been pretty aggressive all the way through. I think NATO and indeed all of the nations within NATO have been very, very careful all the way through to plot a very cautious path, a very careful and nuanced path in terms of the support they do and do not provide to Ukraine.
And Major General, also we've been seeing some of those shipments of grain leaving Ukraine. I mean, how important is that, and how long do you think this will last? Do you think this will be something that stabilizes, and we will see this exporting of grain, which of course the world is really desperate for?
Well, I mean, as you say, I mean, the world is desperate for this grain, isn't it? So it couldn't be any more important. That said, of course, this first shipment, it's a drop in the ocean, and there's a huge amount of grain that clearly needs to be exported. So, I think we should all be delighted. It's a positive first step. But I think we need to be clear-eyed about, the risks involved in maintaining this deal over an extended period of time. And, I'm sure the Ukrainians, not unreasonably, will remain very, very skeptical about Russian good faith.
Hmm. And there are reports that there are three British men who are accused of being mercenaries, and they are due to stand trial in a Russian proxy court in eastern Ukraine. When these sort of situations arise, Major General, is there anything that the UK can actually do to intervene or to stop these kind of trials, whether they're sham trials or not?
Well, I mean, there's nothing that the United Kingdom can do directly to bring about the termination of what is, as you say, a proxy, a false, an illegal trial. It has no international legal standing, the trial. But of course, what it can do, and what the United Kingdom is doing, is to speak on international stage to condemn the trial, as is Ukraine, as is others, to work with with the United Nations. But these sort of miscarriages of justice, these kind of illegal acts, will only ever cease when Russia stop their illegal invasion of Ukraine.
Hmm. And while we have you on, Major General, just wanted to get your thoughts on what's happened in Afghanistan, the killing of the Al Qaeda leader. Your reaction to that story?
Well, I mean, those of us who have a lot of experience in the Middle East, it can only be a good thing. And I absolutely applaud the very, very diligent efforts by the United States intelligence agencies in bringing about this strike. Of course, it has a slightly bitter taste to it, doesn't it? Because it reminds us of the very, very disappointing scenes that took place in Kabul last summer when Western forces left Kabul. And one could argue that Al Qaeda returning into Afghanistan is a result of that. But in the detail of what happened in recent hours, I think that is fantastic news.
And final question to you. We spoke to a journalist who's been covering the story for a long time, and she made the point that there is an argument that because there are a lot of terrorists who are now going to Afghanistan, that Afghanistan is almost becoming a sort of a containment zone for terrorists. And this is something which actually does suit the United States and suits Western allies. What's your reaction to that sort of argument?
Well, I think there's a really moot point there. I mean, whether it suits the United States and her allies, I think is open to. You could have quite a significant debate about that, because go back in time when Afghanistan was a safe haven for terrorists, it didn't prove very easy for the United States or others to reach in and touch those terrorists. Um, uh, is it likely to become a kind of a focus point for terrorists more widely? Yes, I mean, I think it is. And of course, this is one of the great concerns that the international community had when the Taliban took back control of Afghanistan.
Well, listen, it's been great to get your insight. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Thanks very much. Nice talking to you.
That's Major General Rupert Jones, who is a former standing Joint Forces commander. And he, of course, is joining us in the briefing room. And